Hello, I'm here today with Kevin Grunwald, who is the Social Services Coordinator of the COA in Harwich. And he has some very interesting things to talk about that are going on over the next couple of weeks. What would you like to start with, Kevin?
Okay, I think I will start with our simulcast from Dr. Atul Gawande. This is something that was actually rescheduled from February. We had to reschedule it because of a snowstorm last year. But Dr. Gawande will be presenting, and Harwich has been designated as one of the watch sites for his presentation on his book, Being Mortal.
That's very exciting. Wonderful. He's a great speaker and such an amazing writer, too. I'm sure he's a good doctor. I haven't availed myself of his doctoring services, but I know that he writes about many, many issues beautifully.
Yeah, Dr. Gawande is a surgeon, and his presentation is going to be on the role of medicine at the end of life, which is really what his book, Being Mortal, is about. This is a book that our men's book club here at the Council on Aging read a couple of years ago, and we really found it to be incredibly fascinating and also somewhat surprisingly uplifting. And so when we had an opportunity to partner with Nauset Neighbors to host this simulcast, we jumped right on it, and we were very excited about being able to offer that here.
Yeah, he is uplifting, and I would attest to that from having heard him speak about death, end-of-life issues, and also having read most of the book, not being quite finished with it. But it is not a depressing book, and I would recommend it to anyone.
And everybody that I talk to, I say this is a book that I think everyone should read. So the simulcast will be a live presentation by Dr. Gawande. We're scheduled to start here at the Community Center in the multipurpose room at 4:30, and we'll go probably until about 6:30. There's no charge for this event, and there will be refreshments served. And we're just asking that people call the Council on Aging at 430-7550 ahead of time to register, just so that we have some idea of how many people are coming. I think we have about 50 people who are signed up at this point. And if I hadn't said the date, again, it's next Monday, the 25th
The 25th of September,
4:30.
yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and it's in the multipurpose room, did you say?
The multipurpose room.
Right, so there's plenty of room
plenty
for
of
more
room.
than 50.
Yes, we should not have any problem with
Okay.
space at all. Yeah.
All right, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Do you know, will he be speaking on his own, or is he going to be being interviewed by someone?
I'm not sure if he's being interviewed or not, or if this is a presentation. But I do know that there's going to be an opportunity for questions, and I believe we may be able to ask questions from this site. So
that's what I was wondering.
Yeah,
that's a wonderful interactive kind of opportunity. That would be great.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, it's a great partnership that we have with Nauset Neighbors, who is part of a group called Village to Village that has arranged to bring these to different locations around the state.
I see. Well, that's terrific. Glad to hear about it. You have something else coming up as well.
We do, and this is coincidental in terms of the scheduling, but we're kind of on a theme of mortality. So on Tuesday the 26th, we're going to be hosting our second Death Cafe here at the Council on Aging.
That's Death
Cafe, right? And you know, I find that I need to repeat that to people several times. I think the title is actually kind of provocative and interesting. But this is a group that was started in London in 2011 by a man by the name of John Underwood. And it's an opportunity for people to get together in an informal setting and have an unstructured conversation about death and dying. So we piloted this here at the Council on Aging in July and had about 40 people attend, which really exceeded our expectations. We had a great discussion. It was very poignant, it was moving, it was funny at times, and there was an interest in continuing this. And so we have scheduled a second one for this Tuesday the 26th, again here in the multipurpose room from 2 to 4. And if the interest continues, we will continue to facilitate this group here.
So you will be the facilitator.
Yeah, I facilitated the first group, and I'm going to be facilitating this one as well. And the role of the facilitator is to really just kind of keep the conversation going, which was really not a problem with our first group. This was started because John Underwood felt that there are not enough opportunities in our lives to talk about death. And there's a quote that I used, I think it came from Steve Jobs, that it's the one destination that we all share, and it's something that we should be talking about. So the cafe theme comes from kind of a European cafe notion of getting together over coffee or tea or in something to eat and just having a very informal conversation. And so we will again have refreshments, and there's no charge for this event. And I'm looking forward to this. It was a real positive experience in July.
Sounds great. So will it be set up in a circle so that people are able to talk with one another rather than chairs lined up, or?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's exactly how it's set up. So we had a very large circle of 40 people, and we've actually decided to limit attendance to 40 at this point, just because we felt any larger made it difficult for everybody to participate. We had talked about the possibility of splitting up into smaller groups, and the attendees there felt that they would have missed out on some of the conversation, and so they lobbied to have it as one group. So we will do it again as one group and see how that goes. Apparently they're all different, depends on who's there and what's on their mind and what they want to talk about.
Of course.
So again, it'll be kind of interesting following on the presentation by Dr. Gawande the day before.
Yes, yes. So it's the day immediately after.
Yep.
At 4:30, did you say?
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock
so, right,
in the afternoon, 2 o'clock on the 26th.
Yeah, and that's 2 to 4.
2 to 4,
Yeah.
okay. And would you recommend it for people who are currently dealing with loss or specifically, or would you say that it's really for anyone who wants to just talk about the issues involved with their own mortality?
It really is for anyone. It's not a bereavement group, so we try to be really clear about that, and there are other resources in the area if people need help dealing with their grief. But certainly if somebody had lost someone in their life recently, it would be appropriate to attend. But the idea is, again, that this is an issue that we all confront at some point in our lives. Some of the people who came in July talked about their own thoughts about their death and their planning, but other people talked about people in their lives, particularly dealing with parents in some situations or spouses. So it really, again, it varies depending on the composition of the group and what people are interested in talking about. A friend of mine who facilitated a group at another council on aging told me that in one of the groups that she did, people decided to start writing their obituaries, and so that's what they did. We ended this group in July with a little exercise where people just had to fill in the blank. Before I die, I want to fill in the blank, and they wrote those down. I collected them and then handed them out randomly to people, and we read them and talked about what some of the people's thoughts and wishes were around that.
Sounds like it could lead to a really rich conversation. It's wonderful.
It absolutely did. Yeah.
So not a support group per se at all. It's really a discussion and a sharing.
Absolutely.
And an enriching.
Yep.
Well, it sounds great.
And there are refreshments, and again, that is an
and
important part, and
that's
really
the cafe part.
That is the cafe part, and that is one of the requirements of holding a death cafe and using that term, is that it has to be free, and you have to make sure that you have refreshments. So our chef, Linda St. Pierre, will be baking a cake, I believe, for that day, and we'll have some fruit as a healthier alternative, and coffee and tea, and it will just be an opportunity to get together and have some, what I think will be some really very productive conversation.
Certainly sounds it. I would look forward to it. I think I might try to come as myself. Okay. I don't know. You have to make a reservation, did you say?
Yeah, again, call the Council on Aging at 430-7550 to sign up. There is space available. We are going to limit it to 40 people.
Okay. Well, that sounds great. Is there anything else on your mind today that you want to share with us that you will be working on, or is this enough for now?
This is enough for now. This is going to be a busy week next week.
It is.
I know that, and again, this just seems to be a theme. I think the following week, our cemetery director is going to be sponsoring a pre-planning seminar. So that's something to look for as well. And I don't know if she's been on Channel 18 to talk about that, but if she hasn't, she probably will be. But I know that there's information available about that. So
okay, great. Well, I'm sure we'll hear about it if we haven't already.
Yep.
Okay, thank you so much, Kevin.
Right.
That's Kevin Grunwald of the COA, Social Services Coordinator. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Dinah.